Hello everyone, and welcome back to a new episode of Dungeon Crawl Stone Zoop. We're playing a Formicid Conjurer of Fetos, and we just got our second rune from the swamp. Proved not to be too big a problem, especially because we didn't have to worry about the shambling mangroves. Thanks Fedhas for that. Another thing that occurs to me is we could go Jiva, right? Like, we spent 10 points on invocations, and that was fine. And we got some good use out of Fedhas. But, like, Jiva's probably okay. I mean, Jiva's good for melee combat, right? You get, like, some crazy mutations. Including a lot of good Ox attacks. And, like, the Fedhas to Jiva is a common switch, so... because, like, the main thing Fedhas does is, like, create Occlob plants, and you have acid resistance of Jiva. I didn't even think about that until I started this video. Do we want to do that? It would be... I mean, we could get the Slimy Rune, like I said, and that would open up our Trove, so that's some incentive to do it early. But boy, we wanna make a beeline for that Trove before we get any Fedhas piety, so the stuff doesn't... any Jiva piety, so the stuff doesn't all get eaten, huh? I feel like that's probably a pretty good play, honestly. If we're gonna do that, though, we might as well make a bunch of Occlob plants to help us out with, say, vaults or something. Like, how much fruit do I have? 14. I was pretty close earlier when I guessed 15. I mean, like, there's a downside, which is that you get Jiva mutations, and, like, we could lose the ability to wear our boots, for example. But I don't think that's very likely. We're not going to hit level 3 of any crazy mutations. We already have antennae, so it's not like we're going to lose a helmet. Which is the easiest thing to lose, because even, like, 1 level of antennae or horns makes you drop the helmet, whereas you need, like, 3 levels to lose whatever else, other mutations. Honestly, it's very tempting. And it would give me an excuse to spend my Fedhas fruits. I just have to decide, like, where is the most difficult place that I could use some help with. And I think it's got to be vaults, right? Like, I'm not going to go to... I could go to depths. It wouldn't be the worst idea in the world. But I'd like to give vaults a try. I babysat my wandering mushrooms. Oh, they actually followed me. I was going to say, I babysat my wandering mushrooms to the exit of swamp and then forgot about them when I hit auto travel, but they managed to follow me to lair, at least. So, where is vaults this game? It's on Dungeon 13, so I'll have to babysit these guys for a little while. But not super long, I guess. Oh, that was nice and easy. Okay. Here we are, go vault to 0. Yeah, I like the idea of switching to Jiva. Something that I'm a little curious about is, let me check. Have I even gotten to 6 stars of Fedhas piety all game? No. That might be a first. And I'm wearing Faith, like, come on. But, you know, that's how it is. Yeah, so if this were a tournament game, we still have not qualified to get the Fedhas points. So it would be wrong to switch. And it started as a tournament game, but it's not anymore, because the tournament's long since over, of course. Yeah, so that's kind of funny, but not ultimately very important. Model Dragon. Did those get removed in Trunk, I think? Model Dragons and Model Draconians were removed, yeah, replaced with Acid Dragons and Acid Draconians. No, wait, Acid Draconians already existed, so only the Dragons were an actual change. What happened there? Evo went up to 13. Yeah, I feel like Jiva would be great. Let's, this is a little bit messy here. Let's back up to, say, here, and then make spores. Yes. Help! Alright, alright. I didn't think they would go off on the turn that I created them. I thought I'd have a moment to back out. Alright. Well, let's just claw some curing then. I mean, they did a good job with the enemies, but holy cow, have we made some noise. Oh, that was so worth it. Thank you, Fedos. I'm not convinced that was a good play. It was like the worst thing I could possibly have done, arguably. Right, we damaged ourselves, like killed one enemy, spent piety and a potion of curing, and made a ton of noise. These dang Ironheart Preservers are pretty serious. There he goes. Alright, step adjacent to all three of these guys so they'll stop shooting at me. Alright, so, I mean, we made it out of that situation, but definitely not the best way we could have handled that, I don't think. That was pretty fun, though. Oh, man. Alright, so I'll put that on my do not do list. Create spores adjacent to yourself. And I'm not sure, like, at what point I should put down Oclops. Because I think I am convinced that I would like to switch to Jiva. Which means that I don't need all these fruits, and I can use them to make Oclops whenever it's convenient. But I don't really know, like, the tactics for making an Oclob farm. Like, you want to put one down and then lure enemies to it, I guess. Oh my gosh, I'm still wielding my garbage weapon. Ugh. No wonder everything is so hard. Okay, this should help. There's no shamans in there, right? They're the worst. I forget what I colored the shamans to. I think it was like blue or something, but I should color them to red. They're not berserk, and like red is reserved for berserk monsters, but I should treat them as seriously as I treat berserk monsters, I think. So it wouldn't be too outrageous. Obviously, I can do whatever I want. It's, you know, the game reserves that color so that you can identify berserk monsters easily. But it's not like a technical reservation that you can't override. You can do whatever you want. Okay, that's not great. Yeah, it's definitely super not great. I should have paid more attention to the fact that it was an Ironbrand Convoker. Managed line of sight better. There's a lot of things I should have done better. Can rain create water under enemies? I know it can't create deep water under enemies. I'm not sure about ordinary water. I should say shallow water. Alright, well I want to kill this Ironbrand Convoker before he can recall anything more or might anything more. So I do have a Wand of Lightning that's pretty good for that, I think. I've been training Evo a lot, so, you know, now's the time to use it. Got him. Made some noise. Not very happy with that, but the kill was pretty important. And let's go ahead and make it rain now. I know we're costing ourselves a little piety. But, alright. The Cyclops is in shallow water. The slime creature isn't, because there's a door there. So I should have thought about that and backed up. Interesting. Alright. So we're causing some of the monsters who fight us to be in bad shape, but not the ones in the door. Oh well. And of course, the lightning, as I said, I think I said, made a ton of noise, and now there's a bunch of monsters coming after us, which is bad, but we seem to be doing all right. Let's get out of the water ourselves. Okay. Well. Another excellent fight. Definitely nothing went wrong there. A wizard. I don't know how deep I plan to go into vaults here. Obviously not vaults 5. That's never on my list. And we really plan to get the slimy runes. There's no need to get it. The robe of vines. That's a fun one, but obviously not what we're going to wear. We want heavy armor, and the robe of vines is just like, I don't know, it's not that great. It lets you regen a lot, of course. Like, it has regen plus 7, if you noticed. But, like, it's very low on AC, and you can sort of think, in some ways, that regen is a lot like armor, right? Regenerating 1 HP per turn is kind of like taking, 1 less damage per turn. Now, it'll vary based on Manual of Hexes? Nah. It'll vary based on, like, how... What was I even talking about? Oh, whether regen is like AC. And, like, if you're taking a lot of damage if you're getting hit many times per turn, then AC is worth a lot more than regen, because it applies several times per turn. But if you're, like, not getting hit every turn, then regen is better. But, like, they're close to each other. This is... I was going to say it's interesting, but it's pretty bad. Star Corrode is not a huge deal, but, like, plus Blink, I was like, oh, that's good. We could Blink, even though we can't cast spells. But A, we're a Formicid, and B, we're wearing Maxwell's Patent Armor, so that's nonsense. It has negative resistance plus, but, like, who cares? I don't know. Not me. Leave that one for the slimes, even though they're not allowed to eat it because it's an artifact. We're still on Vaults 1. Okay. Wasn't sure. Not for any good reason. Like, I obviously should know whether I've gone downstairs, but I have not really paid that much attention. Entropy Weaver, we do have corrosion resistance, but it's still scary. Where is he? He's in there. Plus, like, it's always just... It's spooky to fight another ant, you know? Don't do this to me, bro. Alright, got him. What did I... Oh, I accidentally hit AX, which does nothing. Fine. Let's... Excuse me. Ice Blast would be alright here, except that it hits us, which I'm not very happy about. There, now I could Ice Blast this area. I forgot to identify my Ice Blast, though, so I feel dumb about that. When I got it, it was not very useful because we didn't have enough Evo for it to do much. Yeah, that's, like, amazing, right? Look at all the damage it did. Now, we're sort of, like, not handling things very well here. I want to hit the Vault Warden. I don't want to bounce off all... Like, I can hit the Vault Warden once. Or I can hit, like, all of these guys, including hitting the spider twice. And I kind of feel like the Vault Warden is more important. I guess I'll hit the dragon as well when I do that. Wow, severely wounded. That's a good wand. Let's do that again. Oh, that's Ice Blast. Hang on. Give me the light, please. Yeah, look at all that damage. That's nuts. And it, like, was hitting them, which is not what I'm used to happening from lightning. I'm used to lightning missing all the time. We're still in pretty rough shape, though. This is terrible. I should not be, like... The Vault Warden messed up my positioning. Well, I did it. I messed up my positioning. All right, but we can take out this Wraith and back up into a more favorable position. Hopefully vamp our way through this Fire Dragon a bit. And we're no longer corroded. That was a big part of the problem. The Death Knight is reflecting injuries, so I'd rather leave him alone for a little while. Heal up off of the Great Orb of Eyes. Okay. Alright. Crisis averted, but another instance of just not handling things very well. Oh, an Orc Knight, get out of here, buddy. You do not belong in vaults. I feel like I was going to turn off fighting for a while and let Evo just go nuts. Wait, what could this be? Holy Word or Vulnerability? I guess I'd like to know which of those it is. Vulnerability. Well, could help for like Polymorph or something? I don't know. We can't cast spells, so like... it's not super relevant. But we still have some wands that let us hex monsters. So, I'll take it. Alright, we're done with our manual. Boy, that was fast. Armor and dodging. Yes. Get them both, please. We just need more defenses, and invocations will become less useful when we switch to Jiva. And we currently can't... Hello? Read? Oh, it's I. I thought it was L for some reason. I on A? Great. Invocations will stop being useful when we switch to Fedhas. Jiva, god dang it! We can't cast spells. Like, the set of skills that are useful to us is not very large. I kind of have to be like a berserker now, basically. Yeah. All right, that was Vaults 1. Boy, what it was like an ordeal in here. Would have been easier if I had some Oclob plants, but like I just still can't bring myself to spend any fruit ever. Also, you kind of have to do it ahead of time. Like, there were a couple times I was like, gosh, I wish I had a bunch of Oclobs around me right now. But you can't do that all at once. So I think it may be better, or maybe necessary, to create the Oclob farm ahead of time. Now, the trick is figuring out where it should go. And also, like, I don't know, do I really need one on Vaults 2? It might be nice to save it for later in Vaults, but the thing is, I'm not going much deeper in Vaults, right? I mean, I don't know. And I'm not going to use the fruits for anything but Vaults. So, like, okay, here's a good spot, right? I think. Let's put some Oclobs, like, right here? Let's try that. So, D, and let's just make all 4 of them. No, we'll make 3. And we'll grow them all up. Let's see how these guys like a bunch of Oclob plants. Step down here. So that the Oclob plants don't have to shoot through me. Yeah, they seem to be doing fine. Let's go ahead and make some sunlight in here to make it easier for them to aim. Yeah, stuff is just getting wrecked. I'll back up again. Yeah, they haven't even managed to damage the Oclobs yet. Oh, a bolt got there. All right. Well, the Vault Warden had an Arbalest, but he's dead now. Yeah, these Oclobs are pretty good. Like, this is not supposed to be a surprise to me, but I had underestimated how much damage 3 Oclob plants can do to... And also, like, they fire more the higher your invocation skill is. If I scroll up, I should see it telling me how good that actually is. Spit acid rather quickly. So I don't know exactly how quickly that is, but okay, sure. So this is now like the place to lure all the monsters on the floor, basically, right? Let's also, just for funsies, make some spores. Off you go, guys. Find someone to blow up. They seem a bit lost. But they should start being productive fairly soon, I hope. Yeah, got him. Oh, blew something up. And then we'll just lure this all back to the Oclobs. Seems like they're fighting a Ballistomacete up there, maybe? Alright, follow me, guys. I was in that explosion, I guess. Yeah, look at... They come into line of sight and get ruined. What's with this Vampire Mage? Oh, he's confused about, like, whether to step closer to me to melee me or step further away to hit me with a ranged spell, and so he's just doing neither. Are undead guys immune to acid? Why were they not? I don't know why the Oclobs weren't shooting at him. Oh, because he was invisible. That makes sense. Plants can't see invisible. Alright, so that cost us 6 fruit, and like... You know, did we really need it? Probably not, but it certainly simplified things, and it's nice to have like a rough idea of how powerful this ability is. And we were gonna run out of, we were gonna lose it soonish anyway when we switch to Jiva. All right, I have to change the music here. This is awful. What can we listen to instead? Let's try this. I don't think it's what I was listening to already. Certainly it's not the same song, but it might be like the same station. And we'll just eat like this pizza. Okay, that's a lot of monsters. So that's something that it would be useful to lure back to our Oclob farm. The Sphinx is not very friendly either. I guess we can't be paralyzed, so the main thing is just smite, which is not that big a deal. It's really great that we have all these scrolls of recharging, especially if we're planning to switch to Jiva at some point, because it will fuel our Wand of Heal Wounds, and as a Jiva dude, like, we would probably not find very many more of those. On the other hand, like I have not used any of them yet, so how important is it really to have them? Not a good place to be. Oh, thanks for getting out of the way, Ogre Mage. I feel a lot better getting 2 on 1 rather than 3 on 1. Even though, of course, ideally, I shouldn't be letting either of those things happen. Oh, hold down tab. Got him. What's my magic resistance like? Oh yeah, it is off the charts, so we don't need to worry about getting marked or anything. This is a lot of harpies. I should be a little careful. Okay. I don't understand why I still have not gotten to 5 stars of 6 stars of Fedos Piety. Like, I know that somewhat recently, Fedhas and Kybriados were changed. They used to have no piety decay over time. Kybriados because he encourages you to go slowly, and Fedhas because, like, I don't know, no good reason. That was changed. And maybe that's why? I don't know. I feel like with Faith, I have not been using that many God abilities, I'm pretty sure. It seems like I've been using a pretty reasonable amount. For quite a while, I have not really done much of anything, except, I guess, occasionally make some spores. I feel a bit more experienced. I guess a spore elsewhere on the level must have blown something up. Okay, well, that was Vault 2. Not much of a challenge. And I'm thinking it's probably like just do more Oklab farms in Vaults 3 and 4 and then go Jiva. That seems fine. But that was about half an hour, which is a pretty good length for an episode. So we'll just leave it at Vaults 1 and 2 for this episode and then advance on in the next episode. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.